Hello, welcome to Paris. It is one of the great racing weekends of the year, with 10 Group 1s at Longchamp over the weekend for the Qatar Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe weekend. And the highlight, of course, is the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe itself, 2,400 metres. We're going to try and find the winner for you in the next 15 minutes or so. Katherine Ford is with me. I think this is the most competitive arc we've had for a long time.
It really is quite an open edition. There are 15 of them going to go to post. 11 of them have won at the top level. A total of 13 Group 1 victories between them. So not many multiple Group 1 winners. The only two double winners are Westover and Hookham. We have a potential champion in the field with the unbeaten French horse Ace Impact, 5 out of 5 for Jean-Claude Rouget. 5 different nations are represented: France, Britain, Ireland, Germany and Japan once again.
And it is a German horse who heads the 15-runner lineup. We'll check for you now. The Derby winner in Germany of 2 years ago, Sisfahan. Heya Zark is number 2. A couple of Group 3s. If he was to even place, it'll be a career best effort. Ernesto was 10th in the race last year, hasn't won for 14 months when he beat Sim Camille in the Grand Prix de Paris of 22. Sim Camille won 3 times this year. Bay Bridge, only one run over the trip. Good win last time out. Westover and Hookham fought out a magnificent finish at Ascot during the summer. Place du Carrousel for André Fabre was a winner at the weekend 12 months ago. Through 7 seas, can Japan finally get a winner? Free Wind will be the last ride for Frankie Dettori. Mr. Hollywood, probably the drying ground is going to hamper him. Feed the Flame and Ace Impact are the 2 top French 3-year-olds. The bottom 2, Fantastic Moon and Continuous. Both classic winners have been supplemented for 120,000 euros in the last few days. Let's get on with it. Let's look at the home team.
And they are headed by Ace Impact, 5 out of 5. The Prix du Jockey Club winner, trained by Jean-Claude Rouget, ridden by Christian Demuro, who teamed up, of course, with Sotsas a couple of years ago. And his big win was in the Classic in the Prix du Jockey Club up at Chantilly. 10.5 furlongs was the distance. And here he showed his fantastic acceleration in the black and orange colours there under Christian Demuro. And not the biggest of horses, but he really does have a turn of foot. Christian Demuro told me last week that it feels like you're flying when you're on his back. And he's done nothing wrong at all. A very different campaign to many ARC winners, because he started his racing career down on the all-weather at Cannes-sur-Mer in the beginning of the year. Came through the provinces, won the Jockey Club as a pretty unexposed colt, and then Jean-Claude Rouget has mapped out this next big objective in the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. He missed out on the Arc Trials and also the Irish Champion Stakes, which was a possibility, and our Equidia cameras were up at Deauville on Monday to see the horse and speak to the handler, Jean-Claude Rouget.
Le cheval est très bien, il est monté en puissance depuis le mois d'août. C'est un cheval un petit peu émotif, c'est un cheval... Voilà, je voulais pas, puis quand j'ai vu le temps qu'il faisait après, je n'avais pas de regrets. C'était une journée un peu difficile pour les chevaux. Il était bien dans son box, il faut garder de la fraîcheur. C'est souvent des chevaux assez frais qui gagnent l'arc.
Ace Impact then, who looks like going off favourite for the big race and defending an unbeaten record. Another very interesting French 3-year-old is called Feed the Flame. We're going to look at him and his biggest win so far, which was over the Arc Course and Distance in the Grand Prix de Paris in the middle of July. Now, he normally comes from a late run from the back of the field. This day he definitely did, because he completely messed up the start and banged around in the starting stalls. And even at this stage, you wouldn't be totally confident. You'd back the winner if you're on the one with the green, with the pink cap. He comes through to win. He has had a run since in the Arc Trials weekend, where, again, perhaps he's a little too far out of his ground for his own good to play a serious part in the finish. Any case, he's trained by a master, Pascal Barry, approaching the age of 70, still looking for his ARC win. These are his thoughts.
D'abord, il a un très bon mental. C'est un cheval qui est très facile à entraîner. Il est très calme, il est très sûr de lui. Et ensuite, il est capable d'accélérer. Ouais, c'est sa qualité principale. Et nous, on sait qu'il fait bien la piste. On sait que la piste va être un peu plus souple que lors du Préniel. Le cheval est très bien, il est en belle forme, il travaille bien, il a beau poil, tout va bien pour quoi dimanche. Feed the Flame, je pense que c'est un très bon partant, c'est un cheval qui a une très bonne chance.
He would certainly be a very popular winner, Pascal Barry, very much appreciated by the professionals here in France. And Pascal Barry used the Prix Niel very much as a trial. He will come on a ton from that second in the Prix Niel. Also on Arc Trials Day, we saw Place du Carrousel enter the Arc picture. And I've rarely seen such a big smile on André Fabre's face as when she came back to the winner's enclosure after this performance in the Prix Froid.
She wins here. You can see her the silver jacket, one from the right. Iracine in the pink colours is going to follow her home. Now this, at 2,400 metres, was her first try at the trip. She was, though, Katherine, last year at the Arc meeting, completely unconsidered in the Opera when she won it over 40-1. So we know that there's no problem for her at the trip or the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. She goes on any ground. It was very testing last year. The Arc was touted as a possibility for her. After that, they've kept her in training, and so far, so good.
Yes, and André Fabre, 8 winners already. You would be silly to discount one of his. Those are the main French ones. Let's go now on the British and Irish visitors.
And a 6-year-old Huckham bidding to cap a fantastic year for the Shadwell colours, trained by Owen Burrows. He's one of the dual Group 1 winners in the race, and the most remarkable of those wins was this one at Ascot in the British Arc, as it's sometimes called, the Summer Arc. What a battle they had, Huckham and Westover in the Juddmonte colours, the pink cap, really battling it out. And Huckham, a horse who's now aged 6, he's had a career which has been affected by injury. He won the Coronation Cup last year at Epsom on Derby weekend, and the Arc was on the cards for him last year until injury ruled him out. They've brought him back, they've cared for him, and Owen Burrows looks to have a really top-class chance on his game with this Huckham. A 6-year-old has never won it. There's been a 7-year-old winner in the race in 1937, but we don't get many top-class 6-year-olds running in the race, so I really like his chances.
Notice how she said 1937 and looked at me. I'm not quite that old. Westover, though, must mention him. Excellent chance, top-quality horse. Ran in the race 12 months ago, a much softer ground, which is probably too soft for him. Had a win in a Group 1, the Grand Prix du Saint-Cloud, already this season, and could be there or thereabouts. Now, let's have a look at Bay Bridge, who, rather like some of these, hasn't had that much form at 2,400 metres. And the race we're going to show you is 2,000 metres. It's the Champion Stakes in the United Kingdom at Ascot in the October of last year. He's off to the left there, the maroon and blue colours. You can see a fine, big stamp of a horse. Now, this season, things haven't exactly gone all his way, and he has only the one win to his name, which was his first try at the Arc distance of 2,400 metres. And admittedly, it was a little all-weather race at Kempton Park, but he did stay. He won it in very impressive fashion. The form from that Ascot race, yes, he can win an Arc. Now we know he stays the trip after his victory at Kempton last time.
Yeah, trained by Sir Michael Stout, who, of course, has won the race before, as has the trainer of Continuous, one of the 2 supplementary entries in the race. Aidan O'Brien and the Coolmore lads have supplemented this St Ledger winner into the Arc. He's a son of Heart's Cry, looks a really progressive type. And here he is, demolishing the field at Doncaster. It was just 2 weeks ago. There's usually 3 weeks between the St Ledger and the Arc, and the double has never been done before. Some greats have tried and failed. Nijinsky, user-friendly. Hurricane Lane, more recently. Continuous, they'll be trying to do better than that with Ryan Moore and Aidan O'Brien. Seems to go on any ground. Will certainly stay out the distance really well. One to consider. Definitely
top-quality horse with a great chance. Now, this year's Arc is apparently going to be the last time we will see the man who has ridden more Arc winners than anybody else. At 6 so far, Frankie Dettori is the most successful jockey in the history of the race. Here are the 6, back from Lantara 28 years ago to more recently 2 victories on the mighty Enable in 2017 and 2018. So he can do it. Can his mount Free Wind? Well, she's a good mare. This might be just perhaps stretching her a little bit too much, but she does come to the race with a great performance, a good second at York and a most recent outing. Now, though, onto the challengers from Germany.
And there will be 3 of them crossing the German border to come over to France for the Qatar Prix de Triomphe. And the most fancied is, of course, a Fantastic Moon, winner of the German Derby in very good style at Hamburg earlier on in the season. And he came to France, tried out the course and distance in this race in the Prix Niel. He is in the blue colours, coming on to collar the pacemaker, who was there really for Feed the Flame, but helped out the cause of a Fantastic Moon. Rennie Pichelik, of course, the jockey, he won at a huge price aboard the Torqueto Tasso a few years ago. Connections immediately after this said, well, a couple of days afterwards said, we won't be winning in the Arc. They were concerned about soft ground. This horse really does like top of the ground. The ground, incidentally, is predicted to be good to soft on Saturday. And so Lars Wilhelm Baumgarten, who manages and founded the owning syndicate Liberty Racing, has pondered it all, and they have decided to stump up the €120,000 to run in the Arc. And that was a really good performance. So do take him into consideration.
And they've apparently been offered lots and lots of money to buy Fantastic Moon, and the syndicate are going to keep him. So good luck to them. We wish them the very best on Sunday afternoon. Finally, it's been, I think, 30 attempts now and lots of years. Can Japan do it? Here's the Japanese hope. Now, the Japanese have been trying for quite some time to win this great race. They've come pretty close, but not walked away with the trophy as yet. In recent seasons, it's been the French-born jockey, but now Japanese-based Christophe Lemaire, who's come over to ride their challenges. It will be him again. The mare this time is called Through Seven Seas, who shot to prominence with a second position behind the world's best racehorse, Equinox, beaten only a neck in late June. So let's talk to the man on board and see what Christophe can tell us about Through Seven Seas.
She's an improving mare. She gets better and better race after race. And her last performance in the Takarazuka Kinen was very good, finishing second of Equinox, just beaten by a half length. And on that performance, she deserves to be at the start for the Arc. I saw her this morning doing a piece of work. She looked very good. Of course, it's the Arc, it's a very tough race, but now she gets mature, she's got experience, she will be fresh, and hopefully she will do a great performance.
She has been an absolute revelation this season as a 5-year-old. The trainer, Tomohito Ozeki, told me last week that as a 3- and 4-year-old, he had real problem getting her to eat and getting her to keep the weight on to be able to show her potential. But she does have a huge amount to prove lining up in this Qatar Prix de Triomphe. OK, so those are all of the 15 runners we had a look at for you. Now let's choose what we think is going to win. Ladies first, what's the winner, Katherine? No pressure. I'm going to go with Huckham, the dual Group 1 winner over the 1.5 miles. He's battle-hardened. He's got draw 15 out of 15, but I think he can overcome that. He's been prepared to the minute by Owen Burrows, former assistant to Sir Michael Stout, for those of you who are less familiar with Owen Burrows. A great season for Shadwell. And the last time it was a 7-year-old, and it was in 1932, not 1937. So that makes you maybe even older, Ian, the stat who we are aiming to go against with Huckham. I don't think I can recover from that one. OK, I'm going to choose 2 to put my great age on between Bay Bridge of Sir Michael Stouts and the André Fabre-trained filly Place du Carrousel. They'll be my 2. I hope you enjoyed our programme. I hope you will join us live at Longchamp on Sunday afternoon. There's a whole host of top-quality Group 1 races and a very intriguing running of the Qatar Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. See you there.